Hi, my name is Vaughan, and I'm about to give my persuasive speech on why we need alternative fuel sources. I'm about to show you my audience. Cameraman. What happens when gas gets over $5 a gallon? Do we decide then that we need to do something about it? No, it starts right now. All of our major energy resources are non-renewable. This means that eventually they're going to run out. At the current rate, according to Kevin Rockwell, we are using up our resources 100,000 times faster than we can produce them. There are some potential substitutes for this. While wind and solar energy can provide the electrical energy for homes and households, biodiesel, ethanol, and hydrogen fuel cells can provide the necessary energy to run cars and such. Wind energy creates no pollution. They make wind farms, which can be on land or offshore, and all you need is a good breeze and you can create electrical energy. If it's on shore, if it's on land, the land can still be used to graze animals on or to even produce crops on. It does not affect the land. It is a little bit of an eyesore, but it is completely pollution-free and allows you to still use the land that it's on. Offshore, it can actually be used more proficiently because the wind blows more often because there's nothing to obstruct the wind, so you can have more constant wind production and produce more energy that way. Solar is a very good option. Most people are going to think of solar panels first, but solar energy is just so much more simple than that. Yes, solar panels, they are fancy and they can produce electricity straight from sunlight, but it can be as easy as just opening up the shades on your house in the afternoon to heat up your house by just letting the sunlight come in. There are many different ways. They actually use the sun to heat up water or air and run that through an electrical generator to produce electricity. For cars, which is the big issue, there are, to me, 3 viable solutions for the fuel problems. It's really important that we figure something out with different things that can affect the price or the availability of fuel. Being there can be a natural disaster on a fuel reservoir. There can be neighboring countries that are feuding and do not wish to give up their fuel, which America does not produce most of its fuel. It is mostly imported, so these countries have a lot of influence over our economy, which is scary. And for cars, though, we have 3 main viable solutions. We have biodiesel, ethanol, and hydrogen fuel cells. Biodiesel is created from cooking oil, which it can be used. So you can just go up to the back of a restaurant after they've used up their cooking oil, and instead of them throwing it away, you can take it. It's a little bit of a chemical process, but it's very simple, and you can use that in your diesel vehicle without making any modifications whatsoever. It'll run perfectly fine, and it runs just as well. You do not lose horsepower or anything like that. Also, ethanol is a very viable solution for cars right now. It does require a little bit of modification. It's about $100. It's called flex fuel technology. A lot of the newer model vehicles actually come with the flex fuel technology in their vehicle. All it is it just converts your engine to where it can run off of ethanol a little bit better without all the wear and tear. And ethanol is easily produced. Most people think of it being produced from corn. Corn is the leading producer of ethanol right now, but it can actually be made from any organic material that you can find. So you can just go get some tree bark and we can make ethanol out of it, given it wouldn't produce as much ethanol as other things, but it can be made from anything. One crop that people have been looking into for production of ethanol is a thing called switchgrass. It can be grown in many different types of climates, from arid to swampy areas. I mean, it can be produced, especially like several years ago when we had a drought in Alabama and many farmers were losing their crops. They could go and plant this switchgrass, and even though it's not really raining, the switchgrass will still grow, and they could sell it off to produce ethanol and still make some sort of a profit off of a year that did not go so well. Hydrogen fuel cells are the greatest option, though, I do believe, in the future. They are extremely expensive right now, but with technology advancing, we will be able to decrease the cost. All you need to do is fill it up with a little bit of hydrogen, and it combines with oxygen, and through the reaction it releases electricity, which runs an electric motor in the vehicle. And what's great is there's no pollution created whatsoever. It's pure water that comes out the back. It's actually the same thing that's used on the space shuttle to produce electricity for the space shuttle, and the astronauts drink the water once it is produced. That is how pure the water is. We can't wait. Our sources are going to run out eventually. The hydrocarbon-based fuels are going to be depleted within the next couple hundred years, according to some of my research. And we may not have to deal with it as much as our children's children, but it's definitely an issue that we are facing right now and it needs to be fixed.